What if our senses were enhanced beyond what we could ever imagine? Imagine seeing farther than an eagle, hearing every whisper in a crowded room, or tasting flavors that don't even exist to us right now. In today's video, we'll explore a world where our senses are boosted to their peak potential and beyond. From the benefits to the unexpected consequences, let's dive into what life would be like if our senses became superhuman. Let's start by understanding what our senses already do for us. Our 5 basic senses, sight, hearing, taste, smell, and touch, are constantly taking in information and helping us navigate the world. Sight allows us to interpret color, light, and distance. Hearing lets us understand pitch and volume. Smell and taste are essential for detecting flavors and potential dangers, and touch helps us understand textures and temperatures. Now, imagine if each of these senses were taken to a new level, enhanced to a superhuman degree. How would it affect our everyday lives? What new experiences might we unlock, and what challenges could we face? Let's start with sight. Imagine if you could see beyond the visible spectrum. With enhanced sight, we might perceive ultraviolet and infrared light, like certain animals do. We'd be able to see heat signatures like a snake, or notice the hidden colors of flowers that only bees can see. Night vision would become the norm. We'd never need lights in the dark because we could see perfectly well without them. But there might be downsides too, like seeing too much. Imagine noticing the smallest details all the time, or even being overwhelmed by sensory overload. The world might feel overstimulating, with every color, pattern, and light wave visible at once. Now imagine if our hearing were enhanced. We'd be able to pick up sounds far beyond our normal range. You could listen in on conversations happening blocks away, hear frequencies that are usually out of reach, or detect subtle changes in sound like an approaching storm or a faint heartbeat. But there's a catch. Enhanced hearing could be overwhelming in crowded places, making it hard to filter out unwanted noise. People might even have to wear specialized earplugs to avoid auditory overload. This sensitivity would come with a new kind of awareness, but might also make everyday life a lot louder. Next up, taste. Imagine tasting with such sensitivity that every ingredient in a dish could be detected immediately. Chefs would become like alchemists, capable of blending flavors at a microscopic level to create tastes we've never imagined. Enhanced taste might even let us detect nutrients, toxins, or chemicals in our food without lab tests. But on the flip side, it could make some foods overwhelming. Processed or overly sugary foods might become unbearable, and our diets could change drastically as a result. Now, let's explore enhanced smell. We detect aromas in ways that go beyond our current senses, potentially picking up individual notes in a fragrance. Just like dogs, we could smell traces of chemicals, track where people have been, and even sense the emotional states of others based on subtle scent cues. However, this power might be a double-edged sword. In crowded places, the overwhelming combination of scents could be too much. We might need to limit our exposure just to cope with the flood of smells from the environment. And finally, let's look at touch. Enhanced touch sensitivity could let us feel the most minute textures, changes in temperature, and even the faintest vibrations in the air. Artists and craftsmen could benefit from this sensitivity, creating work with precision previously unachievable. But the downside? Even slight discomfort or minor cuts could feel amplified, making everyday physical interactions much more intense. One of the biggest challenges of enhanced senses would likely be sensory overload. Our brains might struggle to process the sheer amount of information flooding in. People might seek out sensory deprivation rooms or tools just to escape from their own hyper-awareness. There could even be tech solutions, like devices to help adjust or mute certain senses. People might need these just to function normally, balancing the benefits of enhanced senses with the need for mental peace. Enhanced senses would change society and culture in unimaginable ways. Careers would evolve. Doctors might diagnose patients through smell, architects could design with touch in mind, and musicians could create melodies that appeal to hypersensitive ears. Entire fields of study would emerge, teaching people how to use and control their senses. This could create a society where understanding and managing one's sensory power becomes a skill as important as reading or math. So, what if you could enhance your senses? Would you take the plunge to experience the world in a way no one else can? Imagine every color, taste, sound, smell, and texture amplified beyond human limits. The world would be richer, stranger, and more intense than we could ever imagine. Let us know in the comments. Would you enhance your senses? And if so, which one would you amplify first? Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes more isn't always better.